Final push. Hopefully we can get this thing knocked out. Doing some final touches on the motor, getting it to where it'll run. We've run into a few little point issues with it, and just some, we've got to get the interior back in. We don't have it back in still. Hoping this video we can get those seats in, the front seat. We're working on that front splash guard. We're making it. So you can see right here, there should be a piece of metal in that gap. So that's what we're working on now. We made us a template out of the stuff we made the door panels out of, this stuff right here. And I cut a piece of metal. So we've got a piece cut, so now we're going to start with taking that bumper off and fitting this piece. I want to get it in and get it mounted, and then we can pull it back out and paint it. I want to make sure that it mounts up good, so you know when we final assembly on it, you don't scratch the paint and you have to weld or you know do something like that. These pieces right here that's on the table that's primered, these are the floor pans. Well, you could call them floor pans, or you could call them, you know, running boards or carpet dividers, but right here they go in like this. That's how they go in. So what we want to do, we kind of want to dress these up a little bit. So I'm thinking that me and Bubba, we're going to bead roll those, and I'm going to put some Chevrolet bow ties in the center of them, just kind of dress them up a little bit. And we want to do some bead rolling on this piece here also. So we're going to jump on that, and let's see what we can get done. Come along with us, and let's see if we can get this old car closer to being done anyway, or getting it wrapped up as quick as possible. We're ready to start the Bronco. Well, that's where we're going, and getting that bumper off there is how we start getting there. So here we go. All right, so here's our piece of sheet metal cut for our splash pan. 18 gauge sheet metal, and this is how we want it to look on the car. We're going to have to weld. What we're thinking is, I've got this other piece of 18 gauge right here cut, just some scrap. See this hole? We're thinking that we'll come down right here and use one of these holes in the bumper and weld us a tab onto the bottom. We can bolt right there. Now this is supported by the bumper brackets in the center. I don't know that it would go anywhere, but if it did offer to move after we bolt it up, we could weld a couple of small pieces of I've got some real small scrap angle iron over there. I was thinking just cut two pieces, weld right to the bumper bracket, and drop a bolt right there. That'll hold her steady in the center, and that'll hold her tight on the edges. So that's where we're at. And now we've got to get this bumper back on and get everything mocked up the way it's going to be. Make sure that this pan is not too wide. So we'll go ahead and get that bumper up and see if we can't get it lined up like it's going to be on the car. So we'll do that, and then we'll show you what that looks like. Alright, we've got this pan in now, shaved to where it'll fit that bumper pretty good. I'm pleased with it. I mean, it's not perfect, but it's close enough for government work, and for this old rat rod it'll be good. So now we got to mount this thing. There are some mount points on the very bottom of this grill. Series of holes in the bottom and tabs. So we've got to figure out where they are so we can drill the pan, and then we can just bolt it right up. I thought we was going to have to make tabs and all that stuff, but we're not. It's actually done for us already, use the factory stuff. So I'm going to take some of this hobby paint. I'm going to paint those tabs on both sides. We're going to line that piece up and just press it straight up into that paint. and it'll tell us where we need to drill our holes, and then we'll just drop us some machine screws in there and mount her up. Then we should be able to put the front bumper back on and look at it and mark where we're going to do our bead rolls at. And then actually this panel will be done other than just painting. We'll have to run it in the English wheel where we're going to do our bead rolls and kind of stretch that metal just a little bit so this thing don't warp all to pieces when we bead roll it. So all this is a first as far as the bead roller goes. We played with it, but we ain't actually used it, so it's going to be go or blow, and I don't have another pan here to put in this thing. So kudos to the voice for dropping this off with us and letting us use this piece of sheet metal he had. So let's see if we can mount this puppy up and put the front bumper on and bolt it down and see what everything looks like, and then mark our bead rolls. Here we go. Alright, we have the bumper mounted on now. He's checking for tightness, and it looks a lot better now that it's filled in. That makes it look so much better. So now that we pretty much have this solved, we can take it off and bead roll our lines into it, and then prep it for primer and paint. Not too bad. Now this took a hot minute to sand that out with that grinder and a flapper disc, you know, shaving a little bit at a time till we got it to fit that good. I mean, if you go in there and just hack a bunch off, it's not going to work. You got to just a little bit at a time. But you know, it didn't take that long, did it?
About 2 hours.
Yeah, about 2 hours from start to finish. That's everything, figuring out how it was going to mount, shaving it, trimming it. Of course, we had a couple fellas show up too, and took away probably a good 15-20 minutes of that time sitting around loafing for a minute. But yeah, not bad, not bad. So now we're going to finish this right here up and get the bead rolls in it, and we'll show you what it looks like then. We're going to run these lines in the English wheel, give this thing a little stretch before we start to bead roll it, because when you bead roll it, you'll stretch the metal, it'll warp the panel. We put a little bit of stretch into it before we start the bead roll. It should help it stay true, well, flat anyway. So I'm gonna let you grab that end right there, go on out there to the end, and we're just gonna put it. I don't have a crown in this bottom wheel. Okay, now let's ease it over here to the middle. All right, put a little tension on the wheel. All we're doing is putting a little stretch into this panel. All right, let's go to that end line now. And we're just stretching where we're going to be bead rolling. Okay. And I hope that's enough, because that's the first time we've ever done this. Let's do the other side now. And you can see it did put a little bit of shape into it, but we don't want a whole lot of shape. We're not looking for a lot of shape here, we're just looking for a little bit of stretch is all. Alright. Go right there. Alright, let's put it in the bead roller now. Alright, we're going to try to roll this thing. Alright, Axel, you get over here on this end. and hold that up for Bubba there. And you come over. Alright, I'm locking her down now. We're going to go slow. Let me lock her down the back. Alright, we got one line roll. And right there is what we have. Actually, looks really good, don't it?
Yeah. We could probably stand to tighten it up a little bit.
Yeah. Alright, let's start on this second one. That's a good line right there. If we got two good lines in, let's get this last one in now. This last one is our shorty line. Alright, it did put a little shape into the panel, just a little bit. Grab that tape measure. But you can see our lines look really good. Now we chose just straight lines like that because if you look at these pans originally, a lot of them just had 3 to 5 straight lines. So that's what we chose to do. We just stepped ours off a little bit in size. It's going to look pretty good. Let me clean this up. We'll do the other side and then we'll show you what that looks like. Alright, here we go. We got this pan done now. Now mind you, I don't have the bumper bolted on. We've just got it kind of sitting on there. We've got the bolts ran through, but we don't have any nuts on them. Nothing's tight. But right there is what she looks like with the bead roller. Now this is simple, you know, but I wanted to keep it simple because I've not got much experience with a bead roller yet. But you can see right there, I mean, it looks pretty good. I'm impressed. I don't know how good the camera's picking it up, but you can see pretty good right there. And we kept that panel pretty straight. But probably English wheeling it done, because we rolled one test piece already without English wheeling it and it bent it all to crap, didn't it? So the English, there is a trick to that, using that English wheel to stretch this.
Well, it makes it a little bit easier with that piece being as big as it is.
Right, yeah, because this is a big piece. It's taking all 3 of us to roll it. But we're going to get a motor on that bead roller and that should make everything a lot easier. Alright, now that that's done and ready for primer, I've even got it sanded up. It just needs to be cleaned and primed now. So, on to our running boards here. We're going to bead roll these right quick and make them a little fancy. So, I'll roll one of these up and we'll roll 2. We'll roll one side right quick, show you what they look like. Oh man, that's a good one. Alright. Let's do the center line. Alright, back this out. Back it all the way out.
Off the edge.
Yep. That's a good line. Alright, I'm going to finish rolling these and then we'll set them in the car and show you what they look like. Alright, we got all our floor pieces here rolled. We're going to have to do a little painting on them. So I'm going to put a little Chevrolet emblem right in here. I've got some stickers, some bow tie stickers. Just going to stick down. So we'll paint this in the center, let it dry, put my sticker on, paint the whole thing body color, and then pull the sticker back and it should be like aluminum paint or something there for the bow tie. Should look pretty good for so rat rod. Actual cleaning up these things here, getting them ready for that coat of paint in the center, and then we're just going to basically let them sit overnight and then I'll finish painting them after that. Those are really close to what the originals look like. There's one original left that I was able to get out in one piece, and right here's what the original ones look like. Set it on this intake here. Super pitted, but you can see how they're bead rolled. the way these were bead rolled, this line were really profound, and these were a little bit smaller. So we done something a little bit different here. That's what I like to do, a little different, a little custom, I guess. But that's a nice little touch. Took a little time, but wasn't bad. So we're gonna get that. Got to primer that front pan. We're moving on. All right, we got our aluminum paint sprayed on here now in the center. Now I know you probably don't realize what we're doing, but I'm going to show you. I tested this the other day to make sure it was going to work. And right here is my sample piece. So that is what our running board on the inside of the car will look like when you open the door. Just a little custom touch is all, you know, just something to make it a little different. We're going to stick this rear seat in right quick, and then we'll move on. But when we move on, it'll be another day because we are out of time today. Put this rear seat in. We've got the back in there. You probably can't see, it's super dark in this car, but there's the back of the back seat, and right here's our armrest that go over there, and one on this side here too. So we're going to set this seat. All right, here's what the back seat looks like in. I'll try to get you up here in the front, and maybe there'll be a little bit more light. There we go. She wrapped that seat in some black for us since it was blue and it was just deteriorated. But the seat is just in. It's not completely done. It needs a little bit of fine tuning, but it's pretty much there. But she did a good job on that, and the black looks good. And for this rat rod, better than most. So everybody here wore out, tired, hot. And we'll just take matters on this a little later on, and we'll come back and we'll start doing some primering and painting. Today, Ted's gonna come over and give us a hand right out the gate with this thing. It's a spinal assembly. You've seen in the last video, you know, we made a heck of a push, but I couldn't get it all in one video. So hopefully this right here will be basically the last video on the 48. We can drive it out of the garage. Things to do in this video will include putting the glass in the doors, getting the glass situated, which is, you know, turned into a nightmare to say the least. Getting the seats in, which shouldn't be too big of a deal. We'll get those seats in. See right here, I've been fooling around with this engine. You know, last time we mounted that cool, well, I did go back and change that cool. Cool ended up not being good. The voice had come over and donated a Mopar cool, and then Mr. Ted had a ballast resistor, so we done that. There's the old cool right there, the $5 swap meet cool, which turned out to be, well, let's talk about that for just a minute. That cool is actually good, but it's internally resisted. But it's malfunctioning a little bit. So I don't know. You know, it's a hot cool anyway. Typically the chrome ones are a hotter cool in some cases. Not all cases, some cases. So, but nevertheless, it didn't work out for us. Luckily the voice had one and he brought it over, and so we're good there. And at the end of this, hopefully at the end of this video, we'll go over all the receipts and show where we're at. We're really close at that 500. We're either right at it or just over it. I mean it's super close. So enough gabbing. Let's get on this thing. Let's finish it up, because car show season is in full swing now, and we really need to be doing car shows. I'm hoping to get this little car out and at least run it up and down the roads here, local to the local cruise-ins and stuff like that. Let's jump on this thing. It's early out here in the morning. It's nice and cool. You can see I've got my long sleeve shirt on. It's nice weather right now. We don't have a lot of that left. It will get brutal hot at some point in the future, so we don't want to be out here fooling with this. Let's get this thing done. Let's go for a ride in it, see how it turns out. So enough of my gabbing, and let's jump on this thing. We're on these windows now. As you can see here, I had to do a little scorching on this, and we're going to take the regulator out. It's a little stuck. The regulator on this passenger side though is moving pretty good, so we're working on the glass for this one. Here's the glass right here for the back. I'll show you. I'm just got done cleaning up that rail. I mean, these rails are rough. They're, you know, they're crusty, but you know, we'll make them work because we have to. It's all we have. So we're working on putting all these tracks together here so we can glue the glass in. You can see they're all different sizes. So one of them is not even from the car. It was not in the car when I got the car. These are cobbled together pieces. We're just going to have to do with what we got. And, you know, really that's what rat rodding is. You do with what you have. And that's what we're going to do. We're going to make work what we got, you know, and we're going to make it function like it should. Assembly required. So Mr. Ted's over here helping us. Glad for that. And we're going to see what we can do. Get some windows going up and down. We can put this thing together, be done with it. Maybe take it for a drive after a while is what we're hoping. So let's get on it and finish cleaning those up, get this regulator out, get it lubed up, get it moving, and we'll go from there, see what we can do.
Sell that car.
All right, here we go. We're going to put this track in. I'll get you around here where you can see him. This track in there. We greased these tracks because these wheels are old. So once we get this situated on here, then we'll drop that glass. And we'll just drop it in just like it's supposed to be. We'll put our track in right here, and then we'll just drop some glue in there and roll that glass up.
Show them this right here. Sometimes these screws get in the way of getting on that wheel. You have to take it out and then put it back.
Once your glass is glued in, then you can come back after it's glued to that track, and then you can adjust, you know, side to side, up or down if need be. And these windows, they can be aggravating. Now we're in good shape. We did have to take this regulator out. It was stuck with rust and grime. It was pretty crusty, wasn't it? And they normally are when you get these old cars like this, but she frees right up. A little bit of heat and a little bit of oil. Got her moving good. These are primitive. There's not a lot to this, is there? It's just,
That's a simple system, really.
it's kind of good that it is, because it's easy to work on. You can work on this at home. It's not like a bunch of electric windows where you've got wires and regulators and switches and all that. I prefer manual crank windows over anything. You need me to hold that?
No, it's in that track.
Okay. Now here goes the side track. Now you have to have this glass in first before you can put this track here in. You got the nut off the end of it?
I do.
Yeah.
This is just difficult. It ain't difficult, but you gotta be
Cautious.
Yeah. I didn't have to do that to the other side. But let's just make it easier by taking the window out of the equation.
I had that same problem with that when I mocked that up for the measurement on that glass. You've just got to about be holding your mouth right and it'll drop right in there.
I'm just wanting to make sure I ain't connecting with the piece of glass.
Yeah.
Last thing you want to do is break that.
And that's really your biggest concern right here is breaking that glass, because it ain't looks like you can run down the hardware store. So if you're doing this at home, you want to make sure that you take your time, don't get frustrated with it, and just work with it until, see, like right then, it just dropped right in there. We've done looked at that other side. We'll have 2 more to go after this, and the front doors, they're identical. So that is, about the same. Once we get this one in, the front doors go in the same. All right, it don't look like there's a window there, but there is. It's just clean. So 2 down, 2 to go. We about got it. We about got it, don't we? 2 down and 2 to go now.
We still got to glue that one to the bar.
All right, so we're going to drop the glue, and I probably ain't what they use from the factory, but around here we use what they got at Home Depot sometimes. As long as it holds it in. Look at that. That's what we want right there. Make them work what we got. That's right, Rod. So
Rat Rod 101.
That's right. Use what you got. Make what you don't have. So we will get this one glued in, and then we'll start on these driver doors right here. And then we'll have glass in this thing. We'll be ready to put some seats in. And then pretty soon we'll be ready to fire this thing off. Here we go. Let's get it done. Alright, we got our windows in. All 4 of our glasses in now and drying. Went ahead and put our headlight switch in. It's working. That was simple. It just had to run a hot wire and then screw this into the dash. Nothing really to write home about or really even to show a video on. Now we're on to the brake light switch. Will be our next big thing. After that brake light switch, it's seats and bumper, and that's it.
We can drive down the road.
Then we can drive down the road. And hopefully we don't run out of gas. I don't know how much gas in this thing. That might be a short drive. But yeah, we're on to that brake light switch now, and yeah, you can still see some of this wiring is still a mess, but that'll be easy to clean up, no problem. We've got to put our other 3 floor fans down, but carpet dividers, what you want to call them. But other than that, yeah, we're going to tackle this brake light switch now. These are different than late model cars because the switch, the pedals go down through the ground. It's not a pressure switch either like on a Ford. This one's different. I don't have any experience with this type of switch. This is going to be Ted's department right here. Because I have absolutely zero experience with that. We're going to learn today. Why don't you show us exactly where that switch is on here?
It is underneath the steering column right there. See me pointing on it? And see it moving right there?
Yeah.
That's your brake light switch.
Okay. So that's what we're up against. We need to check our wires for hot going down there and see what we got there. The switch seems to move okay.
It does.
That's basic a toggle switch with a spring in it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, let's check and see if we got power going to it, and then maybe we don't, and we know how to fix that. And they might just work. We'll see. We don't have any idea how old that switch is. It could be original. It could have been replaced. We don't know. But we're going to check that fire, and then we'll take a look at it from there.
Well, now we did put a new one of these on too.
Yeah, I put that on.
We've got that splash pan on and the front bumper now. We're going to have to run, let's fix up the switch. This switch here for the lights is bad. Ted's got one, we'll pick one up from him. But now, we're ready to throw the seats in this thing, and then we are ready to start it up. Got our glass in, got our lights working except for our switch. And our brake light switch is good, we tested it. But we're going to need to run, before we actually get the car out and do any real driving, we'll have to run new wires from the front to the back, which that's for another day. Yeah, that's for a rainy day when we can get this thing on the lift. So, let's get these seats in now and take a look at it. Got one seat in. Did anybody get the...
Pretty good progress today.
Yeah.
He just right down another, we got that windows in, got them working. That would have been good progress.
Yeah, but we got the bumper on. We got one seat in and all the windows now. So I mean, we're really moving along with her now.
Anywhere in that vicinity. I think we're too far forward. Is that 23 and 3/8?
Yep, what it is.
We should be right at the edge of our carpet hole right there. There you go.
What am I doing?
That drill bit's a smoking, ain't it?
Yeah, there's two pieces of metal there.
Careful, that thing will be hot.
Yeah, no, it's two pieces of metal.
Ah, you got her now, Doc. Is there both on there?
Because
Alright, we've got the seats in it now. And now it is time for that first start. Will it start? That's going to be the thing. So I'm going to prop you guys up right here, and we're going to prime this baby up and see if we can get her to run.
This is the way a Saturday ought to be spent.
It is. Little Looby Dooby never hurt nothing.
I wouldn't hurt it.
No.
See if you got contact before I prime it.
I'm going to spin it over.
switch on.
Go ahead. Go ahead. It must be getting guys.
Knock it outside a little bit, Steve. thought you could drive. This is a no car.
I can't get out.
What you gotta do?
Well, let's see if it'll
Do what?
Let's see if it'll start.
Sure it's car.
Go ahead. Can I do it?
Nope, I do not. Never mess with it.
I don't know if I'm doing it right or not.
I don't think it'll look bad out there, does it?
No, it looks good.
Well, check them brakes up we get too awful wild. Well, put it on hand.
Sounds good. You get
Look at
good
that.
right there a little bit. It sounds real good.
And the smoking is stopping.
Yeah.
Smoking's way
I
low.
held that up there, but I don't know if you even had it on or.
Yeah, it's running. Wow. Y'all want to drive it?
Nah, you can drive it there, Jim.
Oh, I've done drove it. I was the first one. I was the first one that got to go around in it.
I don't need to drive it.
Y'all
I like
get in-
working on them.
Y'all get in there and drive her.
We gotta get the. I gotta get over to get Lynn there.
Oh, you got a little bit of time here. Hold on. I'm gonna take her for a spin.
You went off there.
She looks good. Wow. Yeah. Yeah, the smoking has ceased and desist. Little car runs pretty smooth. Well, you gotta think, how many years it's been since it's been run?
Yeah.
Uh-oh. We may have to push him out of that. Well, that right there is one way to spin the wheels, ain't it? You can tell he's not used to running a lowrider.
Nope.
He's framed out.
Yeah, we might have to get something out here and pull it.
Might have to get the four-wheeler out of here, pull him out. Let me get you guys where you can see here. That's just good, that's just good video right there. That little car looks good.
How was the brakes on it?
Good. The brakes work really good. Actually, the clutch does okay. Sticky a little bit, but you know, needs to be run and stuff like that.
But he's up in there down the I think too.
Alright, you're probably right. Oh, he can't get out. He got the car stuck and then he can't get out.
That's what you get for lowering the
Hey,
damn thing.
hey. That's what I told him. He ain't used to driving no lowrider. Now this is long and low, and today I guess it's go and get stuck.
You might have to adjust your gears a little bit. I couldn't get second gear.
Yeah,
Is it hard? Have you been able to get second?
I've not had it in second.
I tried it, but I couldn't. It drowned.
Right.
But it may need to be a little bit of adjustment. Of course, clutch ain't been used much either.
Well,
so
right.
They just be working the clutch.
Exactly. Other than that, it's pretty smooth.
Yeah. It looks good going out through there,
It
too.
does. It looks
I
good.
like that
Yeah.
color.
Yeah. That
Now
thing.
he's stuck in the
Now he's stuck in it.
You'd think we'd put one door handle on it, would you?
Well, you would think, yeah.
Here.
Yeah. Yeah, I hear him trying to get it there. We may have to do an adjustment there.
First and second, good.
Yeah.
I mean,
First
first
and
and
third.
reverse
First and reverse.
is good. Look at when he turns that corner. That thing's just as nice as it can be, ain't it?
Yeah, it looks, man, that thing looks sharp. The color, it's the color.
It is.
It makes the car look a lot better than what, you know, you would think it would look.
Gangster.
Yeah, oh yeah, it's dead gangster with that visor on it coming at you.
Not dropping down.
Not dropping down.
No, it's not. Whenever you push the shifter down, the shifter's not dropping down.
All right, now I have had on these old columns, I have had to loosen these up right here. Slide that down, look at where it gets wore out there. You slide that down, that'll slide on down a little bit more.
But for a first drive out of here, it does.
You just put it together, everything
Yeah.
brand new, needs to fine tune.
Exactly. We get the bugs and kinks worked out of it.
But listen, that sit there by itself.
Oh
Sounds
yeah,
good.
the idle's great. The little motor runs good. For me not to have done any engine work internal, we cleaned carburetor out, fuel pump on it, and a cool. Listen to that. You can't beat that. I don't care who you are, you can't beat that. Not from the junkyard right out here running.
Junkyard to driving.
Junkyard to driving, that's what we're doing around here. Not only are we doing that, we're making them look dang good when they roll out, because this thing looks killer coming around out through there.
It does.
I call this a win. Today's been a real big win. Big thanks to Jimmy, Ted, everybody come out and help us with this thing. Yeah, I think a little fine tuning and this baby will be ready to drive. And then maybe ready to sell. So I hope you guys enjoyed this little series on this little car. I know we had a great time. A lot of friends come by, help us with this. And I'm blessed to have so many friends and a good family support me. And this right here is what it's all about. We've had a great time today. We got this thing out, got it running. And I hope you guys learned something from it. And we're gonna go over the receipts and we'll cut to that next. And I'll show you what I got in it. And hopefully we're around that $500 budget. So here we go. Let's get the receipts. Let's get this thing put back in for the day. We gotta get ready for the cruise in tonight. All right, let's get down to brass tacks on this little car here. Turn the fan off so you guys can hear. Pull my chair around here. I've got the receipts. Now these are basically the receipts that we went over last time in the previous video. Since then, I bought 2 cans of interior dye. That was 40 bucks. We bought that. Yeah, let's see here. Got all these receipts. I'm gonna have to get my phone to do some calculations. So let's see what we got here, folks. All right. So I've got all this wrote down on here. So we were at $343 the last time that we spoke about this. So $343. We'll plus another, see, $26 for interior dye. We'll add a little tax. Let's just make it even, $30 for the interior dye. That puts us at $373. All right, and then we have 45 plus 45. Let's see here. Puts us 343 plus 45 plus 45. That's 433. And the $45 is, remember when we had that glass debacle on the glass? I had to pay shipping and handling. Those people really worked with me. They did. They really worked with me on that deal. The glass wasn't right. We still needed one more piece of glass because there was only 3 pieces that got ordered apparently for the car. So we had to buy one more piece, and they just charged me shipping and handling both ways. So, you know, kudos to those guys. American Classic Glass. I'm pretty sure that's who it was, and let me get that paperwork and make sure, because I don't want to plug the wrong name, and I promise you I can do that. Especially when it gets down to numbers. You've seen that. So let's see right here. See, told you. Auto City Glass. Auto City Glass. Auto City Classic Glass. They're in Minnesota. They did a good job. They just charged the shipping and handling both ways on that, and that was really cool. So we did that. And let's see here. We got, what is this? Oh, gas bill. Okay, so as of last time, we were at like $343. Let's see. Okay, so we were at $343, and we've got to add in $26 for interior paint. So let's see here, $343. We're going to plus the $26. That stuff is like $13 a can at O'Reilly's plus tax. So I'm just going to add a straight up 30 bucks for that. So that brings us to $373. She had bought about $50 worth of material. That's for the floor carpet and the rest of the material to, you know, cover the rest of the door panels. So that being said, we'll just add another 10. You know, tax. You got to pay your tax. Uncle Sam's going to get his cut. So we'll plus that in there. 373 plus 60. That brings us up to 433. I had to buy one more can of the paint. Not the gallon can, just a spray can for the floor pans on the inside, that the carpet dividers or whatever. So that was another 20 bucks. Now, I did have to buy a fuel pump. Fuel pump was bad. So if you add that fuel pump in, that was $47. 453. 453 plus $47. Well, couldn't have planned that even better if I wanted to. Oh, I bought a set of points. That was $23. Okay. So, we're at all in right now where we sit with what you see here and what you've seen today. That's the paint, the interior, making a few parts like that splash pan and the pieces, the carpet dividers, if you will. Those, the carpet, dyeing the seats, and you know, just doing what we can do with the inside. that also bought, that also got the alternator done. The coil was donated by The Voice. Ballast resistor was donated by Mr. Ted. Appreciate that, and appreciate the coil on that. Help us get going. Basically just a bunch of hard work, but if you count all the stuff it took to make that motor actually run where I can get it out and just drive it like we did today, we're about 523. So you can look at this two ways. Yes, you can do a complete makeover on a $500 budget, no problem. Especially if the car runs and you don't have to buy things like a coil or plugs or stuff like that. If you take the running part out of it and just say it's your daily driver, let's just say you got a little pickup truck, a little S10, little Toyota pickup, what else? Ford Courier, Ford Ranger. You got a little something like that, just looks rough, paint's faded off, that interior shot, and you just want to give it a makeover and make this thing look good to go down the road, $500, you can do it all day long. I just did it right here, done it on camera.
And that stuff's getting popular.
Yeah, and those little trucks are really picking up steam again. So yes, you can definitely do it with some time. We've got what, about 4 months in this car? Yeah, probably about 4 months, and that's mainly weekends.
Yeah.
Of course, we had quite a few friends come by and help. Bubba's worked on it. Ted, The Voice, everybody, Amanda. So yeah.
The whole club.
Yeah, we had, when I had an issue out of these points, getting these points to work, I had the whole club and everybody at the cruise in talking about just pitching out ideas what it could be, and we fixed it, and ended up being a key switch problem. So yeah, if you take the running part out of it, yes. So I did everything basically to make the car run too. I had, we figured that master cylinder in, we figured in the alternator, we figured in the fuel pump I had to buy into this $500. Total cost on the paint job right here, all in on this paint right here, and that's painting the dash too, painting the splash pan, the bumpers, all in on that, under $200. Paint was $77.
You can't beat that nowhere.
No, hardener's $20. Reducer was $13.99. So yeah, 77. Let me do the math on that right quick so everybody knows, because I'm terrible at numbers on camera. So 77 plus 20 plus 13, $110 for all the paint stuff. And then whatever little bit of spray paint we bought maybe like $30, $40 worth of spray paint.
You can't even do that with name brand paint.
No, you can't.
Like
so I'm gonna figure another $150. We came in under $200 on this paint job, and let me tell you, this paint job looks amazing on this car. What you see it looking like on camera is really what it looks like in real life. So yeah, definitely worth the money for the paint. Dog dishes, I forgot about those. I paid $20 at the swap meet for those. So yeah, the S10 dog dishes. So that had that in, that puts us at with the motor parts and the dog dishes all in $540. So under $550. Yeah, we busted the budget by $50, but
it's hard to do anything.
I'll tell you, I had my doubts when I jumped on here and said I was going to do this for $500. Now, like I said, you could look at it two ways. You could take all the motor and running parts out of it and just say exterior, interior makeover, $500 all day long, no problem. So yeah, spray paint on the wheels, used tires, good used tires found on Marketplace, several swap meet parts on this car. Of course, wrapping the interior, not hard to do. A little bit of glue, a little bit of time, some wood or this plastic that we used on this car. Yeah, so there you go. And this is going to wrap it up for this car, because, and it will be back on the channel, you don't worry. When she gets the door panels done, we're going to pull it out. We'll do a short, or we'll maybe do a very short video on the car. just to show it going down the road. We get out and drive it on the road. But that is going to do it for this final episode of the OGR 48 Chevrolet sedan. I hope y'all enjoyed this little series. It was fun to do. It was fun to try to stay on a budget and get this thing done in a reasonable amount of time. It was very challenging, I'll say that. At some point, you know, get time to do it and stuff. But, you know, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button for us. Keeps us going. Check out our Facebook page, see where we're going to be. Got a lot of car shows coming up now. We're in full swing of car show season. Matter of fact, that's what we're fixing to do now, is get the Cadillac out and cruise up to the cruise in for the afternoon. I'm gonna go get cleaned up. You guys have a good rest of your weekend. We'll catch you next time here on Long and Low, and we appreciate everybody.